50 feet in diameter, about 3/4 of a mile long. These will be diverting the mighty Colorado River from 1933 to 35 around the dam as it goes up centered here from block to block. The first stage is drilling through volcanic rock to interconnect these using drilling platforms on trucks or drilling jumbos. They're dealing with a lot of dangers here. It could be 140 degrees hot in here, flying rock from demolition blasts, and of course the Colorado had not been tamed yet. Despite that, they have this done in 19 months. You try doing that now, it's not going to happen. When these are finished, we're going to have another issue. We have to raise the Colorado River up to the tunnel level there. And to do this, we put in temporary earthen rock dams or coffer dams. One upstream, one opposite downstream. The upper coffer dam has 4 miles of steel and rebar reinforcing it, capped with concrete on top. And that will deflect it nicely into our tunnels around the site. At the same time, different purpose, the lower coffer dam will block the backwash exiting our tunnels from going backwards into our future construction site. As this is doing our work from the 30s here, we're going to next pump out the water trapped between these mini dams and get to the bottom. Down there you will have seen a mile of muck, rock, and silt, 135 feet deep. We cannot pour on that surface, so we're going to dig that out of the way, reaching bedrock layers at the bottom eventually. And starting June 6 of 1933, we bring down our buckets of concrete using a cableway system. Just imagine every 78 seconds we send a bucket whizzing down to the bottom, dumping out 16 tons in the wooden forms there at a time. 24/7, 3 8-hour shifts non-stop like clockwork. After 72 hours, these will harden, and the buckets are brought down regularly in that fashion. As Hoover Dam is being built, we will also seal up 3 of our big tunnels in 1934. This will redirect the flow backwards and start to fill out Lake Mead here in the center as we know it today. The outer Nevada diversion tunnel, in the meantime, will stay open for a year's time, redirecting some of that flow around the site continually. This helps us relieve pressure against the dam still going up. Let's not forget as well, the power plant facility is being constructed too in this time period. We have 4 intake towers you see rising up behind Lake Mead, sitting on canyon ledges we carved out with dynamite. And as that water eventually stretches to these, we'll plug up our last tunnel here, and from 1936 on, that water will fall down using gravity like a waterfall into 30-foot steel penstock pipes in the bottom. And that's what you see out the windows to my left or to my right more prominently. These can handle up to 96,000 gallons of water per second. That's like an Olympic-sized swimming pool every 6 seconds being filled approximately. As that water rushes on, it's squeezed into these 13-foot diameter pipes, each going to a generator, spinning the turbine at the bottom, creating electricity. Then that water is released downriver, past our dynamite out lower coffer dam. There is one more feature. We have spillways 27 feet below the top of the dam on the side for flood control. We automatically open up these steel drum gates here, connected to these outer tunnels, and redirect that water from the dam and power plant. We've done that once in 1941 for a test, and this photo behind me shows 1983. We had a record snowmelt rain year off the Rockies all at once. That is 7 feet below the top of the dam for 2 months straight, redirecting that flow around our facilities. This finishes the first leg, folks. In a moment, please follow me up the stairs to the right with your family and friends. Nevada Power Plant next, but wait for me first, please.
Not my spring, but the other game. Another one. Not looking right at the tree, and not looking left on my parents. Walk that far, so.
swing in as far towards the lands here. Once you find your spot over here, take photos, any photos that you like. Come on in, folks. Keep swinging in and out of that tour. Keep rolling down towards me so we have room here. Once you find your spot, you take any photo that you wish, of course. But please take those photos now. Once we finish, we're using our elevators to go different ways, and that time there won't be photos. 8 feet high, 30 feet you see directly ahead where N1, Nevada 1 generator is, 40 feet more beneath the floor. So Nevada 1 to Nevada 8 in the back. We know they're turned on when you see a light on top, the exciters to the back row. That looks like that is currently Nevada 6 and 5, yes. And that water is falling down, hitting the turbine down there at 180 revolutions per minute, spinning next at 65-foot metal shaft. Look through the window of N1, you will see that shaft gleaming in the light ahead. When that is spinning in the red area, this spins the magnets in our rotor area. And as those electromagnets spin past 5 miles of copper coils or stator drum, this excites our electrons, creating electricity for the power plant wings. Each generator generating up to 130 megawatts of power. That's enough for 65,000 homes. If we ever turn all 17 at once, that would be around 2,080 megawatts of power, over 8 million homes throughout the Southwest. The water will exit out the draft tubes at the bottom, by the way, and go back to the tailing bay to our left, the Colorado River. In addition to these massive generators here, we have smaller ones, one in each wing, to be called Pelton water wheel generators for in-house power. Glance down on the floor ahead, you will notice a metal fenced area on the floor, red piece centered. That red piece is our Pelton, producing up to 2.4 megawatts of power. And that power powers our elevators, my mic, all this heavy equipment, and more. Speaking of heavy machinery, look further down the bay, you'll notice our American flag hanging proudly on a green P&H bridge crane. We have 2 huge cranes in each wing, moving in the walls on a track system. One there lifts up to 300 ton. That's right. I'll give you perspective. The Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor weighs in at only 225 tons. We can manage lifting Lady Liberty with that crane closest to us. But wait, there's more. Heavy repairs require 2. We form a super crane lifting team, slide them together for up to 600 tons. Such a method we used last year to lift out our N3 generator rotor. You look down the floor again, you'll notice that scaffolding there, the circular object. There's that rotor. Reassembling that, 5,000 steel panels around an armature center like spokes in a bicycle wheel, 40 magnets eventually on the outside, 4 tons each. That piece alone there is about 580 tons. That's why we need those cranes and the Pelton's power. Now for a different subject, look beneath your feet. We have terrazzo marble floors surrounding you over 121,000 square feet throughout the complex. Put in by the Martina brothers in 1937, believe it or not, just under 60,000 US dollars. That's it to do this. Embedded in the floors behind you on either side, we have inlays designed by the artist Alan Tucker True, inspired by Southwest Native American pottery and basket weaving groups like the Pima, the Acoma, and the Integrated Peoples. The circular inlay here looks like water flowing for the turbine. One diamond-shaped outlet over there looks like a power outlet, so hydroelectric power and water intertwined. Now, last but not least, where's Hoover Dam? Well, it's right behind me, to my left here. It's a 5-foot concrete wall, stretching back at this level 450 feet thick is Hoover Dam, and then Lake Mead. You'd have to swim up about 360 feet to break the surface. Hoover Dam's dimensions are 726 feet tall, 45 feet wide at the top, and at the bottom is 660 feet thick. How big is that? Let's take the wall to my right again. Now look to the very end. It's a big door. That is 650. Add 10 more feet to this, and imagine concrete stacked to the top. That's what's holding back the biggest reservoir in the country behind me here. We hope you enjoyed the power plant tour, folks. For those who had the red, white, and blue wristbands, I'm going to hand you off to Crystal right here by the gate of the water fountain. Come on down. Wristbands this way.
These guys didn't just build the dam. They built the infrastructure to build the dam, okay?
1931, Vegas was about 5,000 people. This project got off. You had, a bunch of folks living in the middle of the desert. Well, a bunch is, better perspective, I guess. And so it wasn't just that the people came from all over, it was that the materials came from all over. They had to build roads and rails to get to the dam from Vegas. They built about 29 miles of rails around the canyon just to move the men, machine, and materials. They would construct 2 fully automated concrete mixing plants to keep up with the demand. They sourced all of the rock and the sand in a wash on the Arizona side, so they had to build a sorting plant for that, too, for aggregate. They built, umpteen outhouses, outbuildings, I should say, not outhouses, sorry. Probably outhouses, too, actually. But, thinking about it, the first tunnels you guys were in, those diversion tunnels, right? They were drilling those out 24 hours a day. Well, if someone's drilling 24 hours a day, someone else is sharpening tools 24 hours a day. So, not just one sharpening station, they had something like 7. I mean, every bit of this had to be constructed from nothing, because that's all that was here before the dam took place. Of course, after the dam, life has continued to flourish in this little area, so quite a big difference then to today, and that's why I love that photo. Now, before we round the corner, are there any questions about the first 2 stops? Diversion tunnels, the power plant? No? Okay. Now, as Matt mentioned, at this level, it's 450 feet of solid concrete separating us from Lake Mead on the other side. We're about to walk through 300 feet of that, which leaves another 150 on the other side. And again, top to bottom, we're about 2/3 of the way down as we head in. If you've seen Vegas Vacation, you might recognize the tunnel. Here we go. Come on down. Okay. Come on down. I'm going to have a stop right about here. Come on down on either side. Just pick a side, either side. Just right here. Come on down, guys. Pick a side, either side. I want to make sure everybody can see me and hear me here. All right. You guys feel the vibration? Right? That's that mighty river and all that power being generated. You feel it in here. The other thing you feel is a real sense of pride. They wanted this to be a spectacle. They wanted to not just tame a river, but do it with so much style that people would visit for generations. It worked because you're here. But that's what I love pointing out. This beautiful Art Deco styling. This is the original terracotta tiles in Mexico. You've got the original aluminum light fixtures and more of that beautiful terrazzo. Now, it's a little hard to see here, but the terrazzo is made of many different types of stone, primarily granite and marble. You'll also see some California diorite. These colors, almost every color of the rainbow. Reds, greens, pinks, browns. You get some that are almost like a shade of blue. And all of that was sourced from all over the U.S. So Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont, Florida, Georgia, California, of course, you name it. The funny thing is, man, look outside, we have a lot of rock. Not this kind of rock, right? So they had to bring all that in. And they did it for you. They didn't do it for the workers. Now, as we head down, we're going to round that corner, and that's where that dam elevator is located. And we're going to hop in, but that elevator, not nearly as big as the last one we were in. So it'll be a 2-part lift. I'll take the first half or so up, and then Bonnie will bring the second half up to meet back up with us. Now, a couple things to tell you about that first stop. That's the vent cover on the face of the dam, okay? It is at the end of a long round tunnel, and that tunnel is 6 feet tall. So for the young at heart, and the tall, you want to just be extra careful going down. Please don't parkour down the tunnel. That won't end well. As you head down, watch your heads, watch your steps. Glasses up top, be careful with those as well. I don't want them to get scratched. How it's going to work, you're going to head right on down, basically single file. You get to the end, you take a peek, you take a couple pics, you come right back. If we get on down, a couple pictures, come right back. We have plenty of time for everybody to do so, and that gives me more time to show you everything at the other end of the tunnel and stuff along the way. Now, that said, don't be in such a hurry that you go down there, you snap a bunch of pictures, hurry, you come back, and you didn't see anything, or you got a bunch of terrible photos. Okay, because the thing is, when you're down there, you're looking out of the vent, and the slats are about this far apart. You can stick your camera out of the slats to take a picture. If you feel like doing that, hang on with two hands because I can't get it when you drop it. But if you take pictures from inside, that's where it gets kind of funny because the thing is, if you're inside the slats, it's going to try to focus on them.
Yeah.
And if you want to get the background, you need to tap the screen so it will focus on the right area. Now, take a couple pics. If you do decide to try to get a picture with the arc of the dam and the blue sky behind it, you would do that with two hands, selfie mode, arms out, lean it back, and take a quick snap. Back in the early days of tours, kind of after the 30s, but more like in the 70s and 80s, they would take people on top of the powerhouse and you could get a really cool picture with the arc of the dam. So that's kind of what that photo is reminiscent of. But honestly, folks, if you went to Google Images, you might find that picture there and you don't have to stick your phone out the dam. Okay, up to you. So yeah, a couple pics, come on back, same group, second group coming down, same thing. We'll answer some questions and then we'll head on down to the other end. There is a vertical shaft about partway down that tunnel. You do have to cross it if you want to see out of the vent. It is a grouting shaft. The tunnels are grouting galleries. They are also used for inspection, and I'll explain more of that when we can kind of see those elements. Let's see, there are some obstructions. Just don't run into them, okay? And the last thing, down towards the very end, you're going to see a little yellow speed bump. Regular speed bump height, right? It's to keep the water out. It doesn't do the best job. There's actually water this side of the speed bump, so that's kind of funny. But what I want you to take a look at is right around hip height here on the left as you head down, you're going to see little 1-inch pipes sticking out of the wall. That'd be that 1-inch cooling pipe that they ran that cold water through. Generally, it was cut, drained, and backfilled with a grout, but we've got a little piece here that you can actually see on tour, which is cool. People ask about it all the time. They left the lines in, but there's no more water running through. It's just filled with solid grout, so it is still like that solid structure, all right? Okay, let's head on down. All right, so we're going to do it in just a few minutes.
We're gonna get some damn bait.
They need to sell some like gummy worms at the cellar. It's called damn bait.
Unreal.
No.
Speed bump, watch out.
The rest all over the
Just barely moving, you can feel it,
All
yeah.
right, everybody still has their phone.
There's the halfway mark right there.
Head on down, take a peek, pick your whole back, same thing, stay to the right, and turn around, stay to your right again. That wood grain as you pass by, it's fantastic.
Wow. Can I go down there?
All right? That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't. No.
Isn't that fantastic? And actually, there's a little good spot of wood grain right there. All right, just 1 second. Right around this corner.
Thank God for elevators.
No doubt.
And so what these plugs are.
Hand 'em out.
Metering device. These plugs correspond to.
Whoa.
And measure the temperature or the moisture content of the block and calculate how far along that your process takes. This is real-time data. the temperatures out here could range from like the low